Okay, today we're going to be working on cutting an overhead door. First of all, I want to thank the Enforcer for making this door prop, and Cedar Park Overhead Doors. They donate these doors to us. So thanks to both of those groups. There's all kinds of techniques for cutting overhead doors. Right here we have an 8-foot door. One of the older techniques that some people still use today is the traditional triangle technique. So the sawyer will walk up to the door, bring the cut down to here. They might do a triangle down here in order to bring that all the way. Come down, usually leave a gap here, that way it doesn't flop too much. Bring this cut down here, come back up here, finish it off. At this point, they can finish their bottom cuts, they can flop it in. So now at this point, we have a hole that takes up this area. So it's relatively quick, but a problem with that's one in, one out. So if we have an emergency, everybody needs to get out. It's one person crawling out at a time. So there's other options we can do. There's also, because of our smoke is going to be banked down. This is blocking our smoke from getting out. If we look at this cut, this cut here, maybe 6 feet, 7 feet long, 6, 7 feet long over here. There's another option that we can do that has actually less cutting and makes a bigger hole. We're going to do the inverted L cut. What we're going to do for that, we're going to make an L and we're going to pull it off. One little consideration is where your entry door is. If my entry door to the fire is right here, we've got hoses, we've got all kinds of stuff, I might consider making my downward cut here and peel out this way. If I had a 16-foot door, it doesn't make a big difference, but if I pull it in towards the fire ground, I'm just adding all that metal, it's going to be kind of in the way. So if my entry door was over here, I'm going to make my cuts and peel that way. The first cut doesn't make a huge difference on which one you do first, but the top cut, it's a little harder on you, so you do that one first, get that saw up there. Once you get that more difficult cut done, you just need to come down the other side. One thing to be aware of, right up here, somewhere in this area, we usually have an attachment for the garage door. If I was to go above that, and I try to peel this out while I'm still connected to the garage door. So look at your garage doors when you go on calls. Look at your garage door at the house. See where it's attached and kind of keep that in mind. Another bad thing up here, it's real hard to get up here. And most likely, if I start up here, I'm going to end up down here. So kind of a better method is right somewhere in this area here, get the saw up where it's somewhat comfortable, dip the saw in, and bring it across. One consideration when you are making that cut is that the bracing back here is usually 3 or 4 inches thick, probably 2-3 inches thick. So you want to make sure you're deep enough to get through that. So our first cut, going to bring it across, all the way across the door. Second cut, again, we want to leave a gap. If we make a connection here, the door is going to be flopping. We could overcome that by somebody, if you do that, you could overcome that by somebody having a pole, come up here and hold that in place for you. However, a little more ideal, skip a spot, bring this down to the ground. If we can't cut through that bottom piece, we're going to make our triangle cut, push that in with our foot, and finish that off. Lastly, come in, take care of this. And again, big X's. We're not doing any fine carpentry here. Big X's, make sure you clear it. At that point, now it's clear, we can grab a tool and bring this all the way out. Everything's going to fold out here. So now if we compare, we had the triangle hole. Now if we compare this, that took actually less cutting, now we have all this area free. At that point, we could remove that if we want to, but we made a much bigger hole in the same amount of time. Okay, one consideration on this cut right here is what's going on in this area here. These are usually doubled over, so they're in a U. If you cut too close to this, you're going to be cutting through 2 pieces of metal. In addition, we have hinges, we have all kinds of attachment points. So if we look at this here, if we're too high, if we're too close to this joint, we're going to be all into this U. Usually, a lot of these are even deeper. And also we have this hinge, which is going to slow us down. So Chris Morin is going to step up here and demonstrate the cut for us.
The person cutting needs to wear it.
All the way through up top? So again, the end result, all the metal, all the shards of metal, everything was pulled away from all the fire ground operations over here. We have a humongous hole. If we want to deal with this, we can deal with this. But otherwise, we got a huge exit opening for us, entry opening for us, and for the fire conditions.